So when you're walking into the retail sector, whether it's a Harris Teeter or Kroger or Walmart, and you're walking down the aluminum can beverage aisle, whether it's soda or beer, all ink on the outside of those beverage cans are coming from this facility in Southwest Charlotte. We have about 97 total employees here. So not only are we very important, obviously, to the retail sector and the aluminum can beverage industry, but we're also very important to the local community. When I came on board, it was a very traditional maintenance setting where we had manual work orders going through our maintenance department based on what we call red tag initiatives at our workstations. A red tag is entered at our workstations for any type of unplanned maintenance situation with our equipment. The information would be manually collected, and it was face-to-face or email communication between the production group and the maintenance group, and then it was logged manually into a CMMS system that was not online or in the cloud. So it was very traditional back in the day. It was very time-consuming. There were gaps in communication, both at the front end and at the back end when the work orders were completed, and it was driving more downtime in that previous era than where we are currently. We wanted to invest in AssetWatch and expedite the whole process with their integration, because what we were seeing in the past were catastrophic long-term downtime events with our mills and supporting equipment. With that comes obviously a lot of ink that we were not making during those downtime events. And when AssetWatch provided the offerings that they had with their system with regard to predictive monitoring, we jumped on it very quickly. We were able to see on the onset 2 different events from a predictive monitoring standpoint that kept us from a 3-week shutdown with our dust collector. And then we also had a predictive monitor alert that came up on one of our motors on one of our main pieces of equipment that would have been a 6-week downtime event. And we were able to get ahead of that with our maintenance team based on the information that AssetWatch provided us. So during our weekly meetings with the AssetWatch engineers, they provided us the trend analysis based on both of those pieces of equipment. And we were able to do routine preventative maintenance on both of those pieces of equipment in order to keep ourselves from long-term downtime. And AssetWatch was able to predictively tell us that, hey, please have your maintenance department check on this. Prior to AssetWatch, if we were in a traditional model and we were just trying to follow up on that based on preventative maintenance or a catastrophic breakdown, we did not have the parts on hand in order to replace it. So if it would have catastrophically failed, we would have been down for about 6.5 weeks because we would have had to source the parts without knowing that the unit was going into failure. So with the information that AssetWatch provided us, we were able to predictably tell what was going on. Our maintenance techs went out, verified that we had a bearing problem, and they were able to source the spare part in time. And it was a 3-hour change out instead of having multiple weeks where the plant would have been down for about 6 weeks. Those 2 pieces of equipment alone saved us enough money from an ROI standpoint to pay for our AssetWatch subscription for the next 2.5 years. Not to mention all the ink production that we could have lost if both of those pieces of equipment would have seen that long-term downtime. Since we've integrated AssetWatch, the plant engineer and I were just talking about this 2 weeks ago. In the last year, we haven't had any long-term catastrophic downtime events. Everything has been from a preventative maintenance standpoint or a planned maintenance where we've replaced our rolls, which are on a specific schedule every single year. And you can see that there's definitely been a positive shift in the culture where the teams are working together and not finger pointing with each other. And it's created a much more pleasant environment to work at from a manufacturing environment each day.